Welcome, readers, back to Goddess Garden Book Chat. I'm your host, 11 Goddess, and tonight we're diving into a book that had me laughing out loud 1 second and taking deep breaths in the next second, and shaking my head the entire time I was reading it. I'm talking about a book entitled You'll Never Believe What Happened to Lacey by Amber Ruffin and her sister, Lacey Lamar. Now, don't let the humor about this whole situation and the way that Amber Ruffin tends to approach most things like this with a really great sense of humor. This is about real stuff. We're talking about racism in its wild, awkward, and offensive forms, but through the lens of two Black sisters who navigated with grace, with humor, and love for one another. So get ready. We're going to get into this deep dive. I've got the squad on deck. We're ready to tackle this. And I'll see you with my comments after we get done with the deep dive.
So here's the thing. Amber lives in New York. She's successful. She's on TV. She's got that liberal urban shield energy. But her sister Lacey lives in Omaha, Nebraska, where the Midwest nice can sometimes mean we'll smile while we're being hella racist. And Lacey's got stories. So many stories, y'all. And Amber? She's just as shocked as we are. Every time. Amber actually admits that she had to start writing this book because she needed proof that her sister wasn't making this stuff up. That's how outlandish some of it is. One of the ones that stuck with me, Lacey is at work and someone says,
Black people don't eat salad.
What? Yes, a whole office full of folks. Grown, employed people, nodding like,
Yup, sounds about right.
And Lacey's just standing there like, Ellen, that is a crazy thing to say. Then there's the time someone at work asked Lacey what kind of food Black people eat for Thanksgiving. And when she said, turkey, stuffing, greens, like everyone else, the woman replied,
Oh, I thought you guys only had fried chicken.
And Lacey, cool as always, said, Well, we fry it first, then we stuff it with watermelons and malt liquor. I hollered. But also, I sighed, because the way these stories just keep coming, it's wild. Amber, for her part, is not new to this game either. She talks about working in a theater where her white male boss said that people were only hired because of a diversity quota. She said, and I quote,
You're creating a bunch of white men who feel threatened by my mere existence.
And when she told him off, completely cussed him out, she kept her job. That's the part that got me. That moment, her fury and her refusal to stay quiet, wasn't just brave, it was necessary. But what makes this book so special isn't just the stories. It's how these two sisters hold each other down. Lacey has always been the calm, kind one. Amber calls her polite, beautiful, petite, and Black, which means people say anything to her. Like anything. She's been the one to smile and correct, to politely excuse herself or say, I very do, when someone says something dumb like,
You don't really like math, do you?
Amber, on the other hand, brings the fire. She says the things out loud we sometimes just think. Where Lacey smiles through the nonsense, Amber claps back with full volume and no filter. And together, that balance works. It's beautiful. They show us that there's more than one way to resist. There's more than one way to protect your peace and call folks out. Sometimes you calmly educate. Sometimes you laugh and walk away. And sometimes you say, what you're not going to do is say that to me ever again. What I found so powerful is how these sisters show up for each other. Lacey tells her stories like battle scars, not because she wants sympathy, but because these things happened and we need to talk about them. And Amber listens, affirms, and when she can, takes those moments and amplifies them. They create this rhythm, trauma and testimony, grief and giggles that feels real. There's one moment that really got me. Amber says,
Because it's a very big thing for us and a very little thing for you.
And whoo, that line right there, that's it. That's the book. These aren't just funny stories. These are cumulative wounds, a lifetime of being underestimated, over-policed, hyper-visible, and invisible at the same time. And still, they laugh, they push through, they keep showing up, because Black women always do. So if you've ever thought, it can't be that bad, read this book. If you've ever needed a reason to believe your own experiences, or your sisters', or your friends', read this book. And if you've ever just needed to laugh through the rage, this book will help you do that too. Amber and Lacey gave us something incredibly special. Permission to call it out, to laugh at the absurdity of it all, and to walk away knowing we are not alone. We've all got a Lacey in our lives, or maybe we are the Lacey. Either way, sis, I see you, and I believe you.
I hope you enjoyed that deep dive, and I hope you enjoy books that offer a very heartfelt comedic spin on something that can be truly painful, off-putting, and sometimes cause you to act out. Dave Chappelle used to call it when keeping it real goes wrong. And when someone says something to you that is so bizarrely inappropriate, but it is truly in their face based on how they think they should approach you, it strikes in a way that resonates long after that comment has been said. It stays with you. I've had friends, family, I myself have been in moments that have to this day sit with me in such a harsh way based on something someone said to me out of ignorance, out of racist pain or stupidity, or just plain trying to be hurtful. And what I enjoyed about this book, and what I think many people will enjoy about this, is some of us have developed that toolbox on how to navigate because you don't have a choice. It's truly a situation where it's not an if, it's a when you live in a melting pot society. And so this book, You'll Never Believe What Happened to Lacey, helps you to keep your eyes open as well as keep your hearts open. But you got to keep your boundary game strong. You got to be able to say to people in a way that both resonates, educates, and enlightens. I'm not sure where you got your information from, but not only is it inaccurate, it's insensitive. And hopefully that opens a dialogue if they're not so closed off and tied to that belief that allows them to really understand what went wrong and how we can be better at communicating. So I hope you'll like, share, subscribe, please. I would love for you not to miss another book review. And as always, you won't believe this story. I say that in quotes. You won't believe this. Because how many of us have had to look at somebody over a glass of wine, sitting back on the telephone and say, you won't believe what this person said to me. So until next time, friends, I'm 11 Goddess, and this is The Garden. Come back and bloom with us.